Are the boats the best fit for the GOAT? And I would have to say yes.
Of course you would.
I would have to. I'm not even talking on the field. Of course they are in terms of talent construction of this roster, but I'm talking off the field as well, as we see with this news of him having a production company. It just makes sense if you're going to go into your twilight years and ride off in the sunset. No guarantees off the field, on the field, I should say, you know, to go out there and beat Patrick Mahomes in your same division, let alone represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. Lofty goals, but this is a talented enough team to do that if Tom Brady's in the mix. But off the field, it just makes too much sense for you to even drown out the potential that can happen on the field. So I'm looking at Tom Brady in this point of his career, obviously feeling the challenge to prove that his legacy is not always coupled with Bill Belichick. Let me show you what I'm worth beyond what Bill Belichick and I created, and let's go to L.A. It makes sense. The stadium's here, the team is here, and now it's production companies here.
There's a lot of layers to that, and I appreciate you trying to
I just broke it down.
Navigate through those layers, but I mean, it's a no for me. And again, I'm going to continue to ring this bell, and again, you guys do what you want to do with it, but I think his best chance and his best opportunity, what makes the most sense, is in Foxborough with the Patriots.
And lose to the Titans.
Well, you know what? Even in losing at this point in his career, the best place for him to lose is in New England. Like, let's be clear. If he goes somewhere and starts over and starts losing there, it has a much more catastrophic effect. Look at it this way. He's opening that production house and that production company as a what, right? What has he been? He has not been on a different team, right? So he's been able to open up this production company based off of his reputation that he built as a Patriot. I like the coaching staff better in New England. I think the best sense.
You think?
Yes.
I
think the best sense for Tom Brady is New England.
Well, I don't think there's any question that if he stayed in New England, they bolstered the roster on the offensive side. Of course, that's your best option. But I'm under the assumption that they don't want him, otherwise they'd already have him.
Yep.
That's what I'm under the assumption. And if I'm talking about Tom Brady leaving the New England Patriots, I think the Chargers make a ton of sense. I think from the standpoint of what kind of weaponry do you have? I think Keenan Allen's one of the best wide receivers that nobody ever talks about. Maybe because he just doesn't wow you with athleticism, but he's tough, he's big, he runs unbelievable routes. He's one of those guys, and there's very few of these guys, kind of the Hines Ward. He's the kind of actuator of the offense. I mean, he talks a little smack, kind of like you, TJ. Talked a lot of smack and, gotten a lot of fights, and that kind of guy that energizes an offense. If they re-sign Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler, one of the best backs out of the backfield, I think they've got a really solid Trey Turner, who they just traded for to play guard, as an all-pro guard. They need to draft a tackle. They need to develop a tackle. But I look at them offensively and think that with Tom Brady, this football team automatically can compete in that division, the AFC West. So, yeah, I think this is the one thing that makes more sense to me. Forget the production company. This, just from a team standpoint, makes sense to me.
Yeah, I'm going to say just football. Yeah, it makes sense. The only thing that concerns me is you got to play Mahomes twice. You got to play the Broncos twice, who should be better with that defense. And the Raiders are improving. And so if you look at Brady in his division with New England, he's had it pretty easy with the Dolphins, the Jets, and the Bills. And so now you go to this division. That's the only thing that concerns me. The thing that I like is what you just said, is they acquired Trey Turner. They're trying to fortify that offensive line, which was their weakness last year. And so it can look a little more appealing to Tom Brady. Do we get Brady? What do we do with our first-round pick? Do we draft a quarterback to develop, or do we acquire another lineman? Offensively, weapon-wise, they have everything. It's not just Keenan Allen. You got Mike Williams. They have Hunter Henry if they can re-sign him. Austin Eckler. And then you go to the defensive side of the ball. He has a defense and a defensive line that can keep him in games. And so from that perspective, just pure football, I like it. But what I don't like is you have to face that division with Mahomes twice, the Denver Broncos twice, and an improving Raider. That right there, that's going to be tough sledding.
Look, if we look at the roster and dive a little deeper into it, we're saying the names, but we also know that they need something, and that's a third receiver. We talk about Mike Williams, we talk about Keenan Allen, Antonio Brown.
It ain't going to be the third one. He's going to be the best one.
We just got to put him there on the roster in terms of what it looks like, but we know what it's going to be. It's going to be different. It's going to be curtains, right? Yeah. And then you talk about Austin Eckler, one of only 6 running backs, 1,500 total plus yards, 10-plus touchdowns. So that James
92 receptions.
Thank you. So,
92.
So talk about James White. Oh, I may miss James White. No, you won't. You're going to get you Austin Eckler right now, who just got a new deal. Derwin James fully healthy.
Yes.
Bosa, Ingram.
And you know why it makes a lot of sense,
Sick.
too, is if you look at the offensive coordinator for the Chargers, he's just getting started. So Brady can come with his philosophies and things that he likes, and I believe that coordinator will be open to, okay, let's try to put some of these concepts in. Now, you go to a guy like, say, Bruce Arians, he's setting his ways. This is my offense. We're going to run our offense. But you go to the Chargers, you got an offensive coordinator. It's his first year as a new offensive coordinator. He seems like he would be open to whatever Brady wants to run.
And how about the draft? This is one of the best tackle drafts, they say, in a long time. 4 guys projected to go in the top 15. Chargers grab one of them. You got a line. What Pouncey being healthy?
I'm going to come back to my original point, guys.
What, losing New England?
What was the Chargers' overall record this year?
You mean 12-4 the year before?
No.
I
was talking about this year.
Before the injuries?
Tell me this year, Mr. Bolt.
I can't do that
What was
because
it?
I'm an ambassador. I
Okay.
only say positive
and
things.
as an ambassador, you cannot answer that question.
And you know, but
under the
hey,
pretenses that it
this
will
is
incriminate.
5-11. Okay, LeVar.
No.
5-11
What was the
is
49ers record last year, too, prior to them going
4-12.
Okay, and
LeVar
who was their quarterback? Who was their quarterback in that 4-12 year?
Jimmy? No.
oh,
2 of those games.
Nick
Couple of those
Mullins,
games.
Nick Mullins was
He was
one.
there.
And Brett
Garoppolo
Betther was another.
Garoppolo was there.
We had the beginning.
You're talking about almost a 5-11 team. You're talking, and that is the personnel you're talking about. All the guys you're throwing out there.
Derwin James hurt most of the year. Pouncey
Hey, if
gets
Brady
hurt.
is that guy,
Come on,
you don't
man.
think this team improves? You don't think they improve?
It comes back.
Issues
Brady
at the
is
running
not
back?
the coach. You got to be able to dial up the right calls. You got to be able to dial up the right scouting
I had a
reports,
conversation
preparation.
with the head coach of the Chargers just the end of last season, who would love to move into a direction where you have a more athletic quarterback. Unless, of course, Brady's available, because he said Brady is the one dude in the league right now that can still eviscerate you from the pocket and manipulates the pocket.
And that could be the major reason why it is such a catastrophic happening for the LA Chargers, is putting that much pressure on thinking that Brady is going to be
That
your
first
savior
game,
of your
you'll
team.
be tuned in.
I will be.
You'll be tuned in.
I ain't got to tune in.
And then the ratings will
I
go
will
down.
be using one of my 8 season tickets.
Well, I'll be calling you.
Yeah, for free. Look out.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.